we know the problems teachers are facing in school have a direct impact on our students. And at this point, it's not clear just how much the pandemic has put kids behind. But what we do know is that Oregon already wasn't doing great in areas like reading. In 2019, less than 47% of all third graders were reading proficiently, and that number was higher among white students, but lower for Black and Hispanic students. Economically disadvantaged kids also scored lower. This was, again, before the pandemic. The state doesn't have great data on reading scores from the last 2 years because a lot of kids skipped standardized tests. Now, all that being said, we spoke with Rhonda Fritz, an associate professor of education at Eastern Oregon University, about why learning to read is so important for young kids.
We know that for kids who don't achieve reading success early in elementary school, they don't have great outcomes. There's, everything from underemployment to dropping out of high school to even getting involved in activities that they shouldn't be getting involved in. So it can have a really devastating effect long term. But even in the short term, it is such a hard thing for kids socially and emotionally. And there's really some trauma involved with not being able to read well. And I think that is something that as teachers, we always have to keep that in mind, that there are a lot of big reasons why we need to make sure kids learn how to read and learn how to read fairly early.
So Fritz runs a reading clinic at the university to help better train teachers on how to boost literacy rates for their students. You can see the statistic on their website saying in 2019, 51% of kids in Eastern Oregon were not reading at grade level. And Fritz says that has a lot to do with the lack of resources in that part of the state, kind of spread out across really remote areas. So she wants to change that.
I decided to take on the task of sort of integrating two different types of reading clinics. One being a university-based clinic where our pre-service teachers were learning and applying science of reading techniques, and then also having a component that was for in-service teachers to receive the same kind of training, so that eventually we don't have to do the reading clinic outside of their regular practicum placements, because all of the teachers in Eastern Oregon will also be trained. So that's my big goal, big idea.